All right, folks, what is going on? This is episode 616 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. Over here, we talk about Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football. And today, we're going to talk about Ryan Nielsen, defensive coordinator of the Atlanta Falcons. It's going to be a really interesting show today because the players are really buying into what this guy is bringing to the table. Former defensive line coach for the Saints got the promotion to be the defensive coordinator for the Falcons, and look like so far the right stuff is being said and the right results are being seen. So we're going to look into that. Before I get started, I just noticed if you're looking at this on YouTube or Rumble, my cameras are off a little bit. I need to change the camera. I need to sync the cameras up because my top camera, I look a little grayish, and the other one actually has my actual complexion and I look like myself. But a little bit of, behind the scenes stuff, I'm definitely going to have to get that taken care of. This looks weird. But nevertheless, if this is your first time here, welcome. I could be found on YouTube and Rumble. I can be found on Anchor, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. Check out the podcast. If you're on Stitcher, it may be moving over to Pandora. I'm still waiting for confirmation to see if that's going to happen. So we will be changing the guard as far as Stitcher, because Stitcher's changing over. I want to thank you guys for a phenomenal week. The numbers have been looking great, and it's all thanks to you guys. You guys have been great supporters of the show, and y'all are helping the show grow. We are getting towards 1,500 subs. From there, we're going to go to 2,000 and 3,000 and 5, 10. We're going to be moving. But it's all thanks to you guys, and it all starts with you guys. So I want to thank you guys for that. Also, the podcast avenue, the listenership is up over there as well. People are subscribing. People are coming to the Twitter, giving me a little bit of feedback, and the website has been looking good as well, firstandframerates.com. The Twitter is at VFBaller. Over there, I talk about things that don't really make it to the show. Let's just go ahead and get into this. I'm not really going to go with the whole article situation because I've been following articles all week because I've been kind of upset with the article. I've been kind of happy with the article, but just leave it to the guys at SI.com. I've been giving these guys a lot of props for the past month or so because they've been doing a great job of actually being fair. They're not necessarily rah-rah as far as, completely biased against the Falcons or biased for the Falcons. They're just being fair. And that's all that you would want in a website or article, whatever the case may be. Not these other ones that be, knowing what's going on with the team, but they just put them in a certain position to make them look bad. Now, the SI.com, the Falcons report, I don't know if this is a thing that they do for all teams, but I will say that whoever be writing over here today is Jacob Hare. They do a really good job of being fair. And they talk about Ryan Nielsen, about how the way he does his thing as a defensive coordinator, getting a lot of praise from the players and all these good things. Now, I want to look at a few quotes that's in this article. The link will be down in the description. I don't want to follow the article all the way down like I did, the last few articles. I really want to give you more of my 2 cents on how I feel about Ryan Nielsen because I like the guy from day one. But nevertheless, first and foremost, Troy Anderson already gave high praise to Nielsen, already came in, and he's in here quoted saying, obviously, he's a great football mind, trying to pick up and learn from him as much as we can. Very detailed and dialed in, asking us what to do, and he answers to the questions that we're asking him. So there's a lot of feedback back and forth. What can I do? This can I do that? He tells them what needs to be done on this if you want to succeed in this scheme. And they're it's like a lot of give and take, and based on how well you perform, you're going to be successful because if you really look at what Ryan Nielsen has done on the front line as far as that front seven with the Saints, I think he's done a pretty good job. He got some of his guys from the Saints over here, and he's going to implement what he can do with Troy Anderson, Grady Jarrett. You also got Lorenzo Carter, Ebekete, and all these other guys. So that's going to be pretty neat. Speaking of Lorenzo Carter also is quoted as saying he knows a lot about the game of football, especially with the hands-on aspect. He's very hands-on. When we're sitting in meetings, he's putting his hands on people. You have no choice but to take on his personality and take on that aggressive aspect. So he's like I said, he's more of a guy like, in this day and age, a lot of people don't really take too kind to that type of interpersonal type of behavior. But in the world of sports, I mean, if you played any amount of sports, not only just football or any other sport, that is actually kind of like the norm. You know, I mean, guys are really they feed into that because they feel like it's just a level of energy that's being transferred from the coach down to the players. So I mean, it's very normal, but you just don't hear about that enough. Calais Campbell also said some things about him. Well, he had a quote in here saying, "That's really good coaching that he can see and that can help me with that." Just talking about his routine and his footwork. That's really good coaching that he can help me with it. One thing I like about Coach Nielsen is that he's really a stickler for the details. And that's one thing. When you got iron sharpen iron, and I say this with Calais Campbell because Calais has been around for a very long time. I think he's like, 36? He's been around for like 14, 15 years. But when you got a guy that comes in as a coach and he is trying to bring that knowledge to somebody who has that type of leadership and veteran and experience, and for Calais Campbell, somebody like him to say, like, look, he's a stickler for details, I'm pretty sure that's something that Campbell really is about as well because he's been doing this for so long. He has to pay attention to details to keep up in this game for so long. So when a coach comes in and does the same thing and he's like, whoa, well, he's doing this, he's doing that, I can see that. Unlike some coaches, like they come in, they be like, okay, vet, let me see what you got, and they roll with it. They don't really try to implement their schemes on veteran players. That's why you see a lot of veteran players basically go to a team that's, basically already, well coached at the end of their career, or they try to go somewhere where it's going to be, catered to what they already know. I mean, even the great ones do that. I mean, you look at a Tom Brady or a Peyton Manning at the end of their career, what do? They basically went to an offense that they can run, so a lot, even in basketball, it goes the same way. So it's normal. It shouldn't be, in my opinion, but that's another story for another day. But it's normal nowadays. That's what most veterans do. So that's pretty much it for this particular article. There's one reason why I didn't want to say everything about the article because I could read it word for word and it'd be, it wouldn't really help. I just wanted to get those 3 quotes out there from Calais Campbell, Lorenzo Carter, and Troy Anderson. And I'm pretty sure there's other guys that said some great things about him. I knew when he was going to be hired, when I heard that there was a rumor, I thought it was going to be an excellent pickup. The reason why I say it was going to be an excellent pickup, and not only you get a good guy that knows the positions that are excelling or that can be a game changer in the game of football. You control that front 7, you can control a game. If you can control the offensive line, if you can control an opponent's offensive line, you really got an advantage. So you got a guy like that coming in. Not only that, he's from our rival. He's from the Saints. So that's going to be some knowledge that we're going to be getting back from the Saints, from the Saints. And it's going to help us, go up against them in later on, down in the season. So this was a home run hire. It's probably like the best hire that Coach Arthur Smith had as far as his staff this year. I mean, don't get me wrong, the defensive back coaches and, those guys are great too. But when you're looking at, basically the defensive coordinator, especially when we weren't doing that good in the defense the last few years. This is another thing that I said. We all talk about Desmond Ridder. We can talk about Drake London. We can talk about the offense in general. We can even talk about the secondary. But what we got in that front 7 is one of the reasons why I said yesterday, I believe we're not just 26. We should be up in the late teens when it comes to rankings, because you got to understand the personnel that is there. You got to understand who's coaching the personnel. You got to understand what we're up against. I don't think our schedule is that strong, but you could get beat on any given Sunday. But at the same time, I'm looking at what this team has, and I see nothing but really good things. Now, like I said, I don't think that we're going to fall off where we were last year. I don't think we're going to lose, I don't think we're going to win less than 7 games. I don't see that. I mean, we should be better than that this year, but it all falls on what, the offense, how they're going to run, what Desmond Ridder's going to do, and what the defense can do. Because if the defense can make the offense easier for a Desmond Ridder, Bijan Robinson, and others, it's going to be a really, really successful season. If you like this commentary, hit the like button, share this podcast, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let me know what you guys think. Ryan Nielsen getting all the praises from his players. I'm going to put the link down in the description so you can read this article. I just love the quotes from what everybody said. Calais Campbell, Lorenzo Carter, and Troy Anderson. And once again, where those guys are, they're in that front seven. And Ryan Nielsen is putting emphasis on building Troy Anderson up. So don't be surprised. I did a video about this, an episode about this, that he could be the heart and soul of this defense. It's a possibility. I can be found on YouTube and Rumble, also on Spotify, Stitcher, Apple, Google Podcasts. Hit the like button. Give me a 5-star rating over there on Apple Podcasts. Let people know what's going on over here. Share this podcast with your friends so they can come through and give me some, feedback on how they feel about the teams as well. I'm going to get up out of here. I'm definitely going to get me another, what's it called? A camera. Yeah, I'm tripping. I'm going to give me another camera because the differential was ugly. It's really bad. But I'm going to get up out of here. All right, y'all. Y'all enjoy y'all weekend. And I will see you guys on Monday unless something comes up. Y'all take it easy and y'all be blessed. Peace.